Also, those neurotransmitters work better, the hormones work better, and they help with mental clarity. And then it helps relieve stress. Stress is one of the major problems today. And when you're in the keto zone, when those neurotransmitters and hormones are firing better, you literally are able to control stress better. You have energy to exercise, and you feel better because you have all this extra energy.
Hey, Kyle Colbert here, and I am here with my dad, Dr. Don Colbert, and my mom, Mary Colbert, and this is Dr. Colbert's broadcast, and it is 2026.
Yes.
And everybody's talking about diet, cleanse, detox. There's all kinds of diets, there's all kinds of misinformation with this, but you've got the facts.
Yep.
And we want to hear in 2026, what is going to change your life, and what is real, and what is false? Dad?
We want to get the 2026, we want the big fix.
Oh, that's good.
Hopefully that's what we do for you.
Well, again, we're talking about Keto Zone diet because it's really not a diet, it's a lifestyle. But when you shift into the Keto Zone, it's a fat-burning zone that literally gives you more energy, more mental clarity, better sleep, less stress generally, because less inflammation, because what happens is it's anti-inflammatory. The Keto Zone diet is a type of keto diet, but it's the best form of keto diet.
So why is that? What is this? Because you have different books. You have the Beyond Keto, the Keto Zone diet. Now I know because you studied under Dr. Atkins early on. I remember,
I used to know Dr. Atkins years ago. I'd see him at conferences. I'd spend hours with him discussing keto back in the late 80s and 90s. And then I started, more patients came in and I was treating cancer. And the best diet was the keto diet by far for cancer. But then what happened, and this was back in the late 90s.
Keto diet back then. They just called it
Atkins diet. Yeah. But it was a ketogenic diet. But then what happened is too many people started getting high cholesterol levels. So I went to the Keto Zone diet. And so I took out the inflammatory foods.
Talk about how you came up with that. So the keto, because you were talking to a publisher, right? And you were explaining the best kind of diet.
Yeah.
And you said, what I do with my patients is...
What I do is I took the bad out of the keto diet and made the Keto Zone diet. I took the inflammatory foods out of the keto diet and I put in the anti-inflammatory fats, like the inflammatory fats are the fried foods, the seed oils. We have all these seed oils in our food now, and seed oils are canola oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, soybean oil, safflower, sunflower, grapeseed oil, rice bran oil, but these promote inflammation in the body. Also, too many fats and dairy fats. Dairy is one of the most allergic or sensitive foods people are allergic to, so I shifted more to the non-inflammatory dairy, which is goat and sheep and feta.
Well, that's huge. Go ahead, Bob.
Right, but you know what? I think it's important for people to know. People know about the keto diet because of this man. He introduced the keto diet to the world. And so...
well, Dr. Atkins did.
Dr. Atkins, but it wasn't called keto. It was the program that you had.
Atkins diet.
Right, but you're the one who took and what you did. And today that people know keto everywhere, it's because you brought it to the forefront to the people.
And I know you would never take credit for that.
No, I know, but you did.
But what's fun is you were trying, because it's not just about ketosis with the Keto Zone.
Right.
You were explaining to your publisher early on that what you like to do is you get your patients in what you called the Keto Zone.
Right.
And your publisher went, oh, I love that Keto Zone. And you said, well, it's this point at which, because it's not just ketosis, it's an complete shift.
Well, it's anti-inflammatory. And the problem is most Americans are taking in way too many inflammatory foods, inflammatory fats. Like most dairy is inflammatory to so many people because they are sensitive or allergic to dairy, and yet it's one of the most common foods eaten. Gluten, highly inflammatory, it throws you right out of ketosis. You can't enter the keto zone when you eat gluten.
And that's a big difference too, is because dairy is recommended in the Atkins diet, and you are like, hey, you need to limit the dairy.
It's inflammatory. So again, there's a lot of food sensitivities, food allergies I've been treating for 40 years, and it's real simple. It's simply dairy, eggs. Eggs are inflammatory and to a lot of people because many people are sensitive, allergic to dairy, as well as soy, gluten I mentioned, fish and shellfish is many people are allergic. These are the top 8 allergens. And then Okay, so these are just nuts. Nuts are highly inflammatory to many people, peanuts and tree nuts. And so we have to minimize or rotate those kind of foods or minimize them or shift to healthy alternatives. That's what the Keto Zone does. The Keto Zone is simply a ketogenic type diet, which is a high healthy fat. Now, it's a healthy fat diet.
That's the key.
Very low carb diet and moderate protein, so you maintain muscle mass. And what you do when you enter into the Keto Zone, it is the actual sweet spot for metabolism.
I love
It
that.
turns down inflammation in the body. It helps to control appetite. It promotes mental clarity. It promotes energy. It promotes good sleep. It promotes stress relieving abilities, because what is happening when you have less inflammation, your neurotransmitters work better. Neurotransmitters, your feel-good chemicals, your serotonin, your dopamine, your norepinephrine. The inflammation actually affects those neurotransmitters and your hormones. So your hormones and neurotransmitters work better. So it's literally, you're entering into the Keto Zone, the stress-free zone, the energy zone, the fat-burning zone. It's just amazing what this does for your...
I never connected that. So when inflammation is low, your neurotransmitters in your brain are firing more efficiently.
Exactly.
And so you're able to handle stress, manage stress, sleep better.
Exactly. Now, there's many factors relating to that, because there's also, like the MTHFR gene, a lot of people have, about 40% of Americans have a mutation in that gene. So they don't produce enough of the neurotransmitters. So that's why they may need the Brain Zone Basic to help give you the neurotransmitter support, which helps to convert the folic acid. It has the active form of folic acid. So we need that to produce those neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. So there's many other factors.
Well, how do you compare the Keto Zone to, say, the Carnivore? Because a lot of people are on the Carnivore diet, and I have a lot of friends on it, and they have results, because and when I say results, they're losing some weight. So how do you compare that? And then same with the GLP.
Carnivore is the new fad diet, and it is an extreme ketogenic diet where there's zero carbs and all animal meat. Red meat, pork, chicken, turkey, fish, and butter, pretty much all you can eat, and that's it. That's your diet. This diet is increasing the risk of many cancers, especially colorectal cancer, because there's no fiber in it. There's no veggies in it. There's no fruits in it. There's no nuts. There's no seeds. There's none of those anti-inflammatory healing type fats that, like extra virgin high phenolic olive oil, avocado oil, flaxseed oil, these fats that are so good for us. See, there's one food we don't need, which is carbs. We can live without carbs. We can't live without essential fats and proteins.
What about the people who say they're getting those fats from the animal meat, the animal fats?
Well, they do get a lot of the fats from them, but again, we need the essential omega-3s. If they eat fish, they will get the omega-3s. So you will get some of the fats, but unfortunately, you're getting a lot of inflammatory fats. And when you eat a lot of animal fat, realize that's where the animals store their toxins. There's some toxins like PCBs, which are carcinogenic. People that eat a lot of PCBs have increased risk of melanoma and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. There's also dioxins. Dioxins are another chemical residue that we have in our soils, as is PCBs, and even though they've been banned, they're in the soil. So when animals eat the grass that's been grown in soil with PCBs and dioxins, it accumulates in their fatty tissues.
Anything that starts with die, I don't want to eat. I don't want to die.
So when you have dioxins, you're going to be having increased risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay.
And also there's the organochlorines like DDT. Even though it's banned back, I believe, in the 70s, DDT is still in our soil. And when animals feed on grass with soil that had DDT, which most all the soil was sprayed with that back in the 70s, then it accumulates in their fatty tissues. And you have increased risk of cancers like breast cancer, testicular cancer, and again, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Why are we seeing so much non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? Because we eat a lot of these fats. But also, not just that, carnivore diet increased the risk of heart disease, strokes. You don't get enough essential vitamins like you don't get enough vitamin C and vitamin E and vitamin K and vitamin K2, as well as essential minerals like calcium, because there's the only thing you have in there is butter usually and meats, and then you don't get enough magnesium. And the biggest thing, you don't get enough antioxidants. because that's your veggies and your fruits provide, especially those cruciferous vegetables, can provide those powerful antioxidants. So again, when you're on the carnivore diet, you're setting yourself up for disease, and especially constipation.
Oh, and constipation.
And there's no fiber.
Yeah.
And so they get constipated, they get bloated, and they have a higher risk of developing colon cancer and kidney issues. All those acids in that meat stresses the kidneys, predisposes them to kidney problems and eventually kidney stones. So it's going to stress your kidneys when you're on that long
Okay,
trip.
I know we just fired up a lot of people who are on the carnivore diet. And if you're on the carnivore diet and you have more questions, you want to get some clarification, email us, info@divinehealth.com. We'll do our best to get someone to answer those questions. So Dad, you're recommending the Keto Zone diet over the carnivore diet. How do you compare, and you recommend it over the Atkins diet because it's just healthier fats?
I taught with Dr. Robert Atkins, like I say, many times. I spent hours with that man. He had his own booth, and I'd just sit there for hours when I was, in early, well, I was right out of residency, so I was going to anti-aging meetings, and he always had a booth there. So I have pictures of me with.
Oh, I've seen you early on. When I was a kid, I used to go to the medical seminars, and there would be 20 doctors, and you'd be right at the center. And I'd say, no, Dad's too, because he was like a bodybuilder. So you would picture you with like all these medical doctors, but you would be right at the center trying to just soak up all that information at those shows or those seminars.
But Dr. Atkins used to say, no, eat a big steak, eat all the eggs, eat all the butter and all the cheese you want. These are highly inflammatory. And like I say, that red meat, the fattier the meat, the more toxins it contains, the more PCBs, the more dioxins, the more organochlorine pesticides like DDT. They store those toxins in their fat.
You know, Don, I think it's important to point out to people that, they call it the caveman diet for a reason.
We're carnivore.
The carnivore, but they refer to it as the caveman diet. And you know what? Back in the caveman days, what the animals ate was pretty pure.
I mean, you need DDT in the soil, these industrial chemicals in the soil.
Well, keep that in mind.
And that's why these people are exhausted. They got brain fog, mental fatigue, they're toxic. They don't sleep good, they're inflamed, and they don't even many times realize it. And they don't feel good. But when you shift in the keto zone with anti-inflammatory fats like high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, that's my main fat I eat, or avocado oil. I have a nice half of an avocado.
You love olive oil. I feel like you could live on olive oil.
Oh, I could. It's my main oil. You can put it on your face. We have women that's their beauty secret. They put it on their face.
Really? Olive oil?
It's especially the high polyphenol or high oleocanthal olive oil is amazing. It's the most powerful antioxidant known to man. And it's in these new olive oils. We should have brought some for the people.
So now for the Keto Zone, when it comes to burning fat, what do you recommend versus like the GLP-1s? We know carnivore can help you burn fat, but it's just unhealthy. Atkins can, it's unhealthy. Keto Zone is healthy.
Long term. Now they can maybe do it short term for maybe a month or a few weeks or a month or so to get that jump start, to get them in the Keto Zone. But again, what happens is most people can't enter the Keto Zone for at least a month because 50% of the population, or 49 point something, has either diabetes or pre-diabetes.
Wow.
When you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, it takes you 2 to 4 weeks to enter the Keto Zone or the fat-burning zone.
If you're pre-diabetic.
Yes.
Or diabetic.
And how do you know if you're in the zone?
Well, how do you know you're in the zone? But you use the strips, the keto strips, and check your urine, and it'll show when you're in the keto zone, it'll turn purple. And that means you're in the keto zone. And so what happens when you're in the keto zone, you have just shifted from burning sugar and carbs as your primary fuel to burning fat as your primary fuel. And the main fat you burn is typically belly fat, the most toxic fat in the body. So that's what happens when you enter the keto zone. It's a fat-burning zone, but the benefits far exceed that. The mental clarity, ketone bodies help boost memory and bring mental clarity and lift brain fog. They unleash an energy that you had when you were young because we remove most of the inflammation, which is causing so much brain fog. Also, those neurotransmitters work better, the hormones work better, and they help with mental clarity. And then it helps relieve stress. Stress is one of the major problems today. And when you're in the keto zone, when those neurotransmitters and hormones are firing better, you literally are able to control stress better. You have energy to exercise, and you feel better because you have all this extra energy.
You're more efficient at work. When I'm in the keto zone,
Oh, sure.
first thing I notice if I didn't have this is you'll smell it in your breath. You'll taste it.
Right.
It's a different taste when you kind of convert over to burn the fats. And it doesn't last forever like that. But your body's burning fat rather than carbohydrates. And so your body goes into what's in the what is it called? Ketoacidosis or something
No,
like
it's just keto acids. Yeah.
Okay, just keto acids.
There's keto acids, beta hydroxybutyrate, and different ketones that you produce in your breath, in your urine, in your. So again, that's we can actually measure. We can measure it with a
ketosis.
keto meter
Yeah, we measure the
or in your urine.
the
But the
small large
ketosis
ketones.
we go into is not the bad ketosis.
No, it's not the ketoacidosis that diabetics
I
get.
think that's important.
It's nutritional ketosis. That's the fat burning zone. And so many people are saying, I'm afraid of ketoacidosis.
And
Well, if you're diabetic and type 1 diabetic, they're the ones who can get ketoacidosis. And so, again, we don't want to put a person with type 1 diabetes on a real strict keto diet. And so it's not, but type 2 diabetics and pre-diabetics, it's amazing.
Okay.
It literally reverses many times. Many of my diabetics and pre-diabetics come in. I put them on the Keto Zone diet along with some Carb assist, 1 or 2 twice a day, and then some maybe extra berberine, maybe 1,000 milligrams twice a day. And then I also get them exercising, and it's like melting butter on a stove.
Well, go ahead, Bob.
You know what I noticed in your book, and you talk about this in your book more in detail. So I want to encourage you, get his book, because he's covering things in the book that we don't have time. We can't cover everything. But I remember in that book, you talked about people who were type 2 diabetics and were having to take different
metformin, sure.
and doing the keto, their meds dropped. The is cutting it back. That was incredible. So many people, and they
what
got
happens,
off their meds.
and I have to explain to so many patients when they come in with diabetes or pre-diabetes and they're on meds for diabetes like metformin, I have to explain to them to monitor their sugars daily, because their sugars, if they follow the program, they will drop. And I've had so many thousands and thousands of diabetics, type 2 diabetics, not type 1, type 2 diabetics and pre-diabetics who are literally not diabetic anymore, and their doctors can't believe it.
Wow.
Because they followed the Keto Zone program with exercise and with a few Keto Zone support products like Carb Assist. Our Carb Assist is amazing at decreasing carb cravings. And then berberine. Those two are amazing. But then you have other patients, they cannot turn down their appetite. And so that's why we have something new that we'll talk about later. But right now we have our Fiber Zone. Fiber Zone helps tremendously in turning down. There's 2 key hormones that affect your appetite. There's leptin, and the more fat you accumulate, the more you become insulin resistant. When you become insulin resistant, you also become leptin resistant. Let me explain. Leptin is a hormone secreted by the fat cells. And the leptin goes to the hypothalamus and turns the appetite down. But when you are insulin resistant, you become leptin resistant. So your body doesn't respond to leptin the way it should, and you have a runaway appetite.
Oh.
So you're craving food all the time. You can't get food off the brain. And I've had patients like this.
Does our leptin go down at night? Because I find the later I stay up at night, the more hungry I get.
Well, that's because that happens to everyone. We get the munchies and so it's the leptin. You become, if you are pre-diabetic or diabetic, you are usually leptin resistant. And for those patients, we have these new GLP-1 agonists or meds that are amazing at helping to reverse that leptin resistance and help turn the appetite off, and all the food noise. People they cannot get rid of the food noise at night.
That's all they can think about.
That's all they can think about is food.
That's all you see on TV in the ads.
That's because you're usually leptin resistant and you're ghrelin. Ghrelin's the others, not gremlin, but ghrelin. It's like a little gremlin.
It is a gremlin. Keep that gremlin happy.
Ghrelin is increased when your stomach is empty. When your stomach is empty or low, when you don't have much food in the stomach, ghrelin goes high, and ghrelin stimulates the appetite amazing. And so again, that's why the Fiber Zone works on a volumetric principle, in that when you have food in the stomach, it decreases the ghrelin.
It tricks the brain into thinking you're full.
So that's where the Fiber Zone is a hack into it. And this tastes absolutely delicious. I take it every night after I eat. I take a heaping scoop, like a tablespoon, in water, about 4 ounces of cold water, stir it up and just drink it real quick, or if it sits, it'll form like oatmeal. But that has a volumetric principle, and it literally fills your stomach and turns way down that ghrelin so you don't have a runaway appetite at night. And then what I do for snacks, I crucify my flesh every day. And for snacks, what I do is I have my nuts. I have pecans, I have walnuts, I have pumpkin seeds. And when you're in the keto zone, you can have the salted pumpkin seeds, which are absolutely delicious. And so I'll have those as my snacks. And they just are so, I get the crunch, I get the satisfaction, the feel good from them.
You get the salt and the crunch.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that, where people want to get those potato chips or corn chips and stuff. When you eat the roasted pumpkin seeds that are salted,
And people say, I'm sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, no, go ahead.
Then people say, oh, I'm eating salt, it's going to raise my blood pressure. Not so when you're in the keto zone. When you're in the keto zone, your body is literally excreting salt in the urine.
Ah,
And so it lowers your blood pressure. I've had so many people get into the keto zone
I didn't know that.
and their pressure drops. And even they have to, and that's why the salted nuts and the pumpkin seeds are so good for them, because they need that little extra salt. But then their pressure drops. Many are able to, I have to wean many down and many off their blood pressure meds.
Wow. Okay.
So it's really exciting what happens when you are in the keto zone. You are in your metabolic sweet spot, where your body is literally burning fat as fuel. And a lot of people, this makes their head tilt, and doctors don't understand it. Dr. Atkins understood it. And I was one of his main students back 10 years ago, back 40 years ago. And so again, what happens when you're in that metabolic sweet spot, your body is burning fat as fuel and preferentially burns belly fat. But then all of a sudden, when you do the keto zone with anti-inflammatory fats, adequate protein, real low carbs, only 20 grams to 50 grams a day, all of a sudden, these incredible benefits start to occur. Mental clarity improves, energy improves, sleep improves. Neurotransmitters are balanced many times. Hormones are balanced because that inflammation is decreased immensely, especially when you add those omega-3 fats. Now, again, most people, 90% of Americans don't take enough omega-3.
Well, I was going to say, are you adding them through foods or are you adding them through supplementation?
Either way, either way.
Okay.
You can either have salmon. All you need is 500 milligrams of omega-3 fats a day, or 2 ounces of salmon.
And it doesn't matter whether it's DHA or EPA.
Well, both are good.
Okay.
And so I take them both. I go overboard. I take a lot of this.
You do a
But
lot.
again,
Your breath always smells like a fish. You're like a cat when you smell it.
you're right. But I don't eat tuna, or if I do, it's just tongal tuna, which is low mercury. But what happens, most keto diets they don't have enough omega-3s. Omega-3s are critical. 90% of Americans are deficient in omega-3s. Most keto diets have way too much saturated fats. That's butter, cheese, cream. That's Atkins. And that's why the cholesterol goes to the moon and people have to start statin meds. And so not so when they're in the keto zone, because we give them healthy alternatives. This extra virgin, high phenolic, high polyphenol olive oil, which is full of oleocanthals, which are most powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant on the planet.
And that's good to distinguish, because not olive oils are created the same.
No,
in fact, there are studies that show the olive oils that are in the store, only a fraction of it is actually extra virgin olive oil. If you can, the olive oils from Western Europe, like Italy or Greece, or
There is some in California.
And there's some in California
that are
true.
good and legit.
And so you can't get these in most grocery stores. You have to go to olive oil specialty shops, or you can get them online, like PJ Cabos is a really good one that I use. It's got over 1,000 phenolic compounds per serving, which is off the chart, and regular olive oils don't have that. And so again, that's one distinction. Other things is most keto diets don't have enough fiber. And so what happens is they lose that volumetric principle. They're running on ghrelin. They got food noise going through their brains all the time because they have too much ghrelin, and it's stimulating their appetite. Fiber also keeps the colon involved, so it keeps the colon. You have a bowel movement daily. And so that's another key with the Keto Zone. It contains the fiber.
Can people use our greens and our reds on our keto?
Absolutely, they can. They're keto friendly.
You're looking at net carbs on the Keto Zone, isn't that right? And it's good to distinguish. What are net carbs versus carbs?
Well, think of a handful of almonds. A handful of almonds contains about 6 grams of carbs, but then it contains 3.5 grams of fiber carbs. So what happens is to figure out what is the net carbs, you take the total carbs, 6, minus the fiber carbs, 3.5, and you get 2.5 net carbs. So in other words, fiber carbs are good. They don't count as total carbs.
They don't count. They're not included in your carb count.
So when you're only on 20 grams of carbs a day, and one piece of bread contains 15 grams of carbs, when you eat over 15 and then you have nuts, you're at 17.5. You're almost at your carb allotment.
And for the Keto Zone, you're recommending 30 to 50?
Well, 20 to 50.
Oh, it is 20 to 50.
20.
Okay.
Some people, if they're pre-diabetic or diabetic, they're going to need to go to 20. Some even need lower. But people, if they're not pre-diabetic, or in other words, if their hemoglobin A1C is less than 5.7, they can usually get away with just 50 grams of carbs a day, or as much as 50 grams.
And still lose?
And still lose weight. Yeah, it'll be slower, but they will lose, and it's easier. Now, the good part about this, it's exciting, there's now keto bread. It's high fiber, and it contains just 1 gram of carbs.
Tell us about this bread.
Like there's examples like carbonate. Now you got to get it with a cooler so that doesn't come spoiled. Okay, so it has ice packs in it. But there's other ones in your grocery store, and you can actually get gluten-free keto bread that's got only 1 gram of carbs and high in fiber, like over 10 grams. No, again, they use, I think, almond flour, or things like that.
Is that Canyon? Is the Canyon
No, that's
gluten-free?
That's another one, but that's not a keto bread.
If you guys want, and this is a great opportunity for me to share this, we have a Keto Zone challenge. It's free to sign up. You can register. You go to divinehealth.com/challenge. We have a full shopping list. We have recipes. So everything that my dad is mentioning here is going to be in there. You can print off the recipe. We're adding recipes. And so go to divinehealth.com/challenge, join the challenge, join the Facebook community group. There's over 10,000 of us in there. And so it's great accountability, great in sharing tips, great encouragement. And so, so Dad, we've got the Keto Zone. One of the other things with the Keto Zone that you did mention is job efficiency. I notice I work harder and I'm more efficient when I'm in the Keto Zone.
Yes,
because I'm clear-minded.
Exactly, especially when you take that fiber with it. When you take the fiber with it, you turn off that ghrelin, and you're able to focus longer and take the instant ketones.
Oh,
this is part of our tool chest. We have a Keto Zone tool chest, and the
I like that.
tool chest includes instant ketones. Instant ketones put you in ketosis within 20 to 30 minutes for hours. So you reap those tremendous benefits of ketosis, and you do have that for hours, which is mental clarity, increased energy, better sleep, better focus, less drowsiness, less brain fog, things like that. And you're in the fat burning zone.
And you want to get Divine Health Keto, Instant Keto. That's the one you want to get.
Right. And also it tastes good. You can add it to teas and things like that, make it like a tea or drink. And also we have our MCT oil powder, which is good to add to coffees, a teaspoon or a scoop a day. Now, again, this literally helps put you in the keto zone, similar, not as much as the instant ketones. And by the way, going back to instant ketones, you can't sleep at night, take your instant ketones at night.
Oh, okay.
And it gives you an alternative fuel source, and you're burning fat as you sleep. And so in the morning when you get up, you can drink coffee and add a teaspoon or more of your
You're burning fat when you sleep. That's like making money when you sleep.
Same thing. So and then we're going to talk about GLP-1s in the next program, and how they go beautifully with the Keto Zone.
Mom, Dad, this has been an awesome show. Thank you. We have got an incredible next show. We are going to be talking about, as Dad just said, GLP-1. So stay connected. Make sure you stay connected to divinehealth.com. Dr. Colbert's broadcast. We'll see you on the next show. Bye.